Sup, dudes? I'm Nate Heater.
And I'm Frank Lamontia.
And we are the Sup Dudes.
Dudes.
Hey, we finally got that down.
Yeah, finally.
It took us about like how many episodes by now?
3, 4,
Yeah, something like
dozen.
that.
I don't know.
And we just saw News of the World, and we are back in the car that we do our movie reviews from because why not?
Because we're too lazy to go anywhere else to do it.
Exactly. So, this movie stars Tom Hanks and Helena Zengel. We think we're pronouncing it right, but we're not 100% sure.
Well, phonetically anyway.
Phonetically. And going into this movie, Frank and I were talking, and watching the trailer, I said it was basically Marksman, but 1870, I think is when it took place.
Yeah.
So it's Marksman 1870.
Okay.
It's almost like, come on.
But much better than Wonder Woman 84.
Much better. Are we just going to have like a list like right here of just like our rankings of movies then?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Well, after maybe like 10 movies, we'll rank them.
Yeah, we'll see.
Future episodes. Honestly though, going into, I'm a little bit biased because I'm a huge Tom Hanks fan.
As am I.
And it's just because like he's such a good actor for both comedy and drama.
Extremely versatile.
And that's what I like about a good actor or actress is whether or not they can actually do both funny and be serious.
Right. And change characters.
Exactly. What I have to say about this movie is just I have a lot of good things to say about this movie, honestly. Like,
Let's say some.
I will. Now, one of our biggest complaints is usually there's a lot of like dead time or just like everything moves too slowly. There were still some of that, but I want to say that it wasn't as bad.
No, it kind of fit. It flowed. Even though it was, as we say, dead or whatever, it still
Like,
flowed. It fit
dead
into
slow.
it fit into the story. It fit into the story. It wasn't overly dead.
It just, like you said, it just helped move everything along. It helped you build up to what was happening next along in the movie. Of course, me, action guy. There wasn't a whole lot of action scenes. However, what they did do, I thought was pretty good, honestly.
Exactly.
There was
it was. We made a joke that it was similar to the Marksman, and it didn't have as much action.
No,
but
it didn't.
It had. I mean, for Tom Hanks' character, you don't expect him to be like a shoot 'em up cowboy type guy, but he held his own.
That was actually one of my favorite scenes, was that whole like gunfight scene. We don't want to ruin it for you guys, but just know that there's a pretty cool fight scene, like gunfight scene.
Yeah,
And
it takes a nice little turn.
it does.
It's pretty good.
One thing I also want to talk about, since we're talking about like the gun scene, is that I just like how, and I keep bringing up the Marksman. I don't know why. This is not like a comparison of the Marksman's guy. I mean, you promise it's not a comparison of Marksman to this movie, but like with the Marksman, it was just like one group of bad guys following Liam Neeson and the little boy that he was with. I liked how this movie had, when he went to each town brought a brand new problem with it. It wasn't like the same guys chasing him.
That's true.
Like he went to one town, there was a problem. When they left the town, problem was over. Went to another town, problem arose, went over. Kind of everything like that. There wasn't a whole running series of just like the same bad guy chasing him or kind of everything like that. So I really did appreciate that.
Yeah, that was. I didn't even pick up on that, but that's exactly what happened.
It was just, I think it's like really well done. Anything bad about the movie? I don't know. There's just some parts where there's supposed to be, I know they're supposed to be down in the South, like they, like with the way they talk and everything. Some parts I couldn't understand pretty well, and I don't know if it's because of my bad hearing that's going on now, or what happened.
I
But
just think it's a flaw of certain movies. The sound is, to me, is like overproduced sometimes, and you don't really. There's like too much sound. You don't really hear the dialogue. That's kind of like a pet peeve of mine, but we'll talk about that another time. You have something more specific.
You were saying something about like lighting was bad at times.
Well, not that it was bad. It's like a transition. There's like a daylight scene, and then in the next scene, it's the nighttime, but it's still the same people talking, almost like they're still in the same conversation. Meanwhile, maybe like 4 or 5 hours have passed. So that's another pet peeve of mine that happens a few times in certain movies.
Yeah, so I kind of agree with that. I do like though that there was a lot of lighting changing, like day and night kind of a thing, and I like how
the whole trip took a few weeks.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. That is true. But like, they just use that one technique of like using white balance and making it more of like a blue. It seems like it.
It's getting technical on us now. Go ahead.
Yeah. I won't get too technical, but there's a way you can use white balance to make a scene look darker, to make it look more night when you don't have nighttime to shoot in. We're not going to get into that. Maybe in the future we'll talk a little bit more about that, but not so much. I think we rambled on long enough. I think it's time to give our reviews.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
I mean, we don't want to tell the story. You should go watch it. It's a good movie. Go ahead.
So since I went first the last 2 times, I'm going to give you the honor of doing the very first rating out of 1 to 10.
To me, this is a hard one for me to rate because, you know, if you've seen a couple of our other reviews, all 2 of them,
Yeah.
We try to leave room at the top or the bottom because, you know, these are our first couple of movies that we've seen. I want to put it a little above the middle, not quite at the top because it wasn't an all-out gangbuster movie. It was a good story. It wasn't really boring, even in the slow parts. Like I said, they fit. I would like to give it, since we're comparing it to The Marksman, I want to be close to that. So I would give it an 8.
Give it an 8.
Give it an 8.
All right, that's a good rating, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can't like we keep comparing it to The Marksman. We're gonna stop saying Marksman right now.
Okay.
No more talk of that Liam Neeson movie. That was good though, by the way. You should go check out that video if you haven't checked it out yet. Link in the description below.
So what are you gonna give it?
You know, there's a really bunch of
It's tough.
little bit of dead silence right there trying to give my review.
Right.
Now, this shows you guys that we're not worried about editing. We're trying to bring you good.
Right.
Like, we want to bring you good quality stuff. We want to bring you good quality material.
Literally minutes after we've seen the movie.
And we want to make it that we're more personable. We're more like, you can talk to us kind of a thing. Like, we're in a car with you discussing the movie.
Right.
So.
Talk to us in the comments.
Yeah, really. Honestly, guys. Yeah, it's hard to give it a rating, honestly, I would say. I mean, if I had to give it one, I'd probably give it I'd give it a 7.
Okay.
Because, I mean, like, we've seen a lot of other good movies before. Like, the channel started, I think we mentioned that before.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, I mean, it wasn't one of the worst ones we've ever seen, but it wasn't one of the best ones. No, we've seen a lot of bad ones, guys.
We've had some clunkers.
One more, man.
Maybe we'll reference back to some of the ones we've seen prior to the beginning of the channel. So,
So like I said, I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10.
All right.
So, I mean, this is easy, quick math. I mean, here's going to be our average score right here. I mean, come on, if you don't know average by that point. Did you really just mouth the words?
No. All right. Well.
Closing thoughts?
Go see The Marksman 1870.
Yeah, guys. Honestly, I would highly recommend News of the World. Again, mostly because I'm a huge Tom Hanks fan. Mm-hmm. So I was, biased towards
Isn't that
it.
a Queen album, too?
What?
News of the World?
I don't know.
Something like that. Something close. We'll let you know later.
Yeah, we'll let you know. Other than that, guys, like I said, go check out the movie. Go check out Tom Hanks. Go check out
Tom Hanks
Helena.
hardly ever fails.
Hardly ever, yes.
He had a couple of clunkers, but they weren't his fault.
Everyone does.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us here in our car review, mostly because it's getting kind of cold right now.
Yes, it is.
So with that, I'm Nate Heater.
And I'm Frank Lamantia.
And we are the Suck Dudes.